Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we have a crowd favorite, Brett DeLong's third gen Camaro with the unofficial official Don't BS Me 2.0 power plant, which we will go into in depth after we cover his first trip to the track. So my buddy Brett is turning his race car into more of a street car. Went turbo LS, put stock-ish Camaro wheels on it, put a flat hood. It used to have a cowl on it. And essentially this is a 6-liter stock rod, Summit piston, Summit Stage 2 cam, billet 7875, TH350, jegs, sloppy budget camshaft, and Monkey Fab hot side, Snake Eater injectors, Terminator X, all the good stuff, right? All of the stuff I promote, and then he went an extra 25% on a bunch of items he deemed necessary. Brett is an intelligent man capable of making his own decisions, and he took some liberties, and he did fantastic with them all. And that's what we're going to highlight today for his first trip to the track, see how he did, and go over it, and laugh about the results. So that was Brett's first pass, and let's preface here by saying it poured and was a disgusting day prior, and the day he was racing was like in the 90s and 80% humidity. Regardless, Brett threw down, we'll just spoil it right now, Brett threw down 8 high 9-second passes. So he went 990 8 times in a row in the heat, first time out at an event. And a lot of you might be looking at the slips wondering what's going on. Well, he wanted to run the 10.0 class, and he wanted to see how reliable it would be, and he wanted to do so on low boost. One of the issues is the car makes like 10, 11 pounds. We'll review some logs. It makes 10 or 11 pounds. It makes an outstanding amount of power. I'm like, dude, you're going to have to leave off idle to go 10.0. It's going to be so damn fast. So he foot braked about 2,000 RPM every time, and in 7 inches of vacuum. And I think he was saying by the 60 foot we'll review, it's already at 10 pounds. And it was going 990 at 140 and change every single time. So that is incredible. It's exactly what he wanted. He had no issues. He marked his coolant overflow. He didn't have any water push issues, nothing. No problems at all. Incredible. So I know one thing he wants to do is lower his wastegate springs, and we're going to work on that. So we'll show you the rest of the slips and some in-cars and go over the logs. But wow, hey, it works. Incredible, right? He even posted a picture of what the car weighs. I'm going to take that up. And then after all that, he drove it to work the next day. I keep telling him if he keeps this up, he's going to install a 4L80E and air conditioning and probably drive-by-wire and replace his daily. Okay, let's look at a log or two. Here is a pass. The passes aren't labeled, but they were all so similar. I doubt we're going to see much going on. So here is him brake standing, technically. Yep, 2,000 RPM, about 6-7 inches of vacuum. And he just goes to 100% throttle here. So he's holding 10% and he goes 100%. And in very short time, it's already on 11 pounds peak and mid-10s mostly. And he makes his 1-2 at 5,500, a little short. He said on some of his passes he short shifted it. And it still went 990s. That's the whole funny thing with the automatic, right? This little bit of short shift here didn't really matter. It's 60-footed so well. Getting into second early sometimes just gets you the power earlier. So again, 10.4 pounds, trimming a little bit on closed loop. Probably because the weather was so awful. And whoop, I keep double clicking. 6,600 through the traps. Old Brett boy is going to probably need some gearing, but he knew that too. That's another reason why he didn't go full steam out the gate, because he's like, my gears are probably not going to like. I don't want to change my gears. So that was a nice 6,600. And then we have a 6,600 shift, almost 6,700, and then it dropped to 5,500. Now this is a little bit, I want to stay above that 5,500, so that's a good drop zone, but also this is fairly low on the power scale for this setup in the converter. So once he turns it up, it will push the converter higher on the 1-2 shift, hopefully a little bit more than that. And then also I'd probably tell him to just swing it to 7,000 to avoid a high horsepower rod issue there. What's neat to see is 72% alcohol, flex fuel multipliers adding 25% to the base, and 51% duty cycle. All this stuff is working fantastic. Let's grab another one. Go over quick. Yeah, let's grab this one. I have a whole bunch of them. I think I have all of them actually. He just doesn't have them labeled. So this was the burnout right here. Wasn't even in boost. And then here's the launchy boy right here. Back it out a little bit. So there's the gear changes right there. So again, 1900 RPM, -6 inches of vacuum. And then he goes wide open in the next couple frames. And then it's already at 0. And then how many seconds out? Not that much. And then he's already at 1 pound, 10 pounds. Again, 10, it makes about 11. What did he get his 1-2 at here? Ooh, nice 6,700 1-2. 67, and then it went to 55. And then he shifted at 67, and then it went to 55. Very consistent with that stuff. All the way out. Actually, look at Brett, you lifted at 99%. What's going on, Brett? Don't you love when people on the internet do that to you? What's with this, man? What you're lifting? You're lifting. 1% throttle, boys. Anyway, it's incredible to see the consistency on approximately 10-11 pounds. It likes that 12.0-ish air fuel, and it has 23 degrees of ignition in it right now. So it is doing incredible, and it's running the number, and it was going like 143 every single time. Look at this. Well, he lifted at the 1,000 foot on the one pass because he knew he was going too fast. So people were like, why is your mile an hour all over? He's trying to run a 10.0, guys. He's trying to run a 10.0 dial-in, and he knows what it takes. So he knows if the car feels fast, he lifts. Yeah, so otherwise it throws down the mile an hour, 143, 142 every time. So incredible, the consistency in the crappy weather, because people say a turbo car is inconsistent. And he was just foot braking. He wasn't even leaving off of like a metered. If you have a trans brake, obviously you can be more consistent. He has a trans brake, but imagine how much faster it would go when he's trying to run 10.0. So hopefully you guys understand all that. I have a video someone filmed of him going down the track vertically, and it's funny because open header cars and whatnot are so loud that you hear the turbo, you can barely hear Brett's car moving at all. So it's funny to see that. And then, like I said, we're going to do the Oprah Winfrey special about this vehicle. I want to show it front to back, and I want to get, we're going to have Brett stop up, and we're going to do the whole interview process with it. So there is another video where we updated for the dyno session and everything on this car. I'll link to that in the description. Berate me if I do not. I'll probably forget until someone calls me out, but you should catch up on those if you're interested in this car. This will officially be like this stage 2.0 of the what to buy, don't BS me, like 2016-17 video. I think this is the next step. So that is still valid, but this is that little bit of extra you're going to get if you just pay attention to a little bit of the parts. So I think it's pretty important for everybody to see, because Brett made the jump from carbureted small block straight into this, and this is where he's at. So it's neat to see what he thinks of it, how he thinks it did, why he did what he did, everything else. I'm curious why he did some of it and other reasonings, other than me badgering him for 15 years to make this Turbo LS change I knew he would be happy with. So I'm glad I didn't lie to him and mislead him. He is incredibly happy, and it has exceeded both of our expectations to date. So it's nice to know all that and share the combination with you guys. So there is the success story of Mitch and Brett going nines like relentlessly their first times out without any issues. Nice to hear.